Hey there, my fellows. As some of you may remember, I recently looked at Glitch Productions' Murder Drones, which I believe to be the best in the animated series that has ever been produced. However, I think now it's time to look at their most popular series, The Amazing Digital Circus, sitting at nearly 300 million views in 5 months. God, that's impressive. But yeah, I won't drag this out too much. Let's get right into the show. Alright, so we only have the pilot out, so I'll review that and then I'll review the other episodes as they come along. So, the episode begins with the one and only Kane and Bubble introducing us to the rest of the cast. So, we have Gangle, the fake smiler who is constantly sad behind his happy face. We have Zubul, the shape amalgamation thingamabobber that is just done with absolutely everything. Then we have Ragatha, the nicest one. We have Kinger, the crazy one. Like, that's his main personality trait. Like, he's crazy, he's obsessed with insects for whatever reason, and also pillow forts. But, yeah, then we have my favorite character, and everyone's favorite character, Jax, the biggest jerk in the whole series, and also the best character in the whole series, which I say it like there's multiple episodes out, but anyway, yeah, that's the main cast. Or is it? You see, next we get introduced to Pomni, our main character, who enters the circus out of nowhere. She is very confused by the autistic wonderland around her and accidentally knocks everyone down. After this, we hear Jax himself speak for the first time.
Kane, is this one of your NPCs or is this a new sucker? Because if it's a new character, we're gonna have to redo this whole theme song.
Can you tell that I'm a fan of this periwinkle menace to society yet? Anyways, Ragatha here, the ragdoll on screen, tries to console Pomni, but to no avail. Yeah, she's a good one. Anyways, our intrepid hero Pomni here asks for some way to leave the circus, which Kane lags at the idea of, but according to Jax, she can't. So, yeah, Zubul here doesn't exactly help matters either. In fact, the only one that tries to help in any capacity is, again, Ragatha, the nicest character in the show. But yeah, Jax here introduces us to Kinger. He's a funny one. He's probably one of the funniest characters in the show. Well, behind Jax, of course. But yeah, all this news brings Pomni to nearing some kind of emotional breakdown, but then she starts implanting dream theory into the equation. Like theory that something's just a dream. But yeah, clearly this ain't a dream, kiddo. But yeah, seconds after this, we see Kane giving Pomni a tour around the circus. We have the tent, the grounds, and of course, the void. We don't usually venture out into the void. Not even Kane knows what's out there. And then once they return, Pomni starts freaking out because she can't remember her name. But hey, no one can remember their name once they enter the digital circus. One of the few things that Kane doesn't have control over is their minds. But yeah, so Pomni has to come up with a new one, which she can't do on her own, so they get this machine in, and one of the randomly generated names that should have stuck was or no, but yeah, eventually they settle on Pomni. And Jax suggests that they have an adventure for Pomni, since she's new. Even though he did suggest that 5 minutes ago, but still, he did suggest it. And eventually, after barely any time of contemplation, Kane decides on gather the Gloinks. But before that, and also after that, he murders Bubble. But yeah, briefly after this, we see Ragatha suggesting they should go check on Kaufmo. He is a clown that failed to show up to work today. But yeah. Then Kinger says that he might have gone insane over an exit door that Pomni also saw, and thinking that could be a way out. But yeah, they also think Pomni's going insane because of that, and yeah. So eventually actually no, I should probably say what happened before this. So yeah, here's what happened to Zubul.
If anyone needs me, then off.
So, yeah, they decide to send Crybaby, aka Gangle, and Hoo-Ha, aka Kinger, to go handle that situation, while Jax, Ragatha, and Pomni go to check on Kaufmo. So, yeah, for simplicity's sake, I'm gonna call them Team K, which is Jax, Ragatha, and Pomni, and Team Z, which is Kinger and Gangle. So, Team K is going to go check on Kaufmo, and, yeah, Ragatha starts to, give a slightly vague exposition dump on something that we'll get into in mere seconds from now. But yeah, they go to ring his doorbell and he doesn't answer. But then Jax reveals that he actually has a key to Kaufmo's room, and yeah, he also has keys to every other room in the circus except the exit apparently, because that doesn't exist. But we'll get to that later. But yeah. He also left a bunch of centipedes in Ragatha's room, and she's terrified of centipedes. So, yeah, they open up the door, and oh my god, that is not what we saw on the door. But yeah, Jack steals a bowling ball and runs off. And look at this 3D animated cloud. God, this show is so well animated. Anyway, they try to leave, but the Kaufmo catches Ragatha and bounces her off the walls like it's some fighting game, and he's like some level 50 boss fighting a new player. God. So Pomni tries to help, but gets scared and runs off. I'd also do that, but I wouldn't help at all. I just run. But yeah, you may be wondering where Jack go after he disappeared. Well, he went to Team Z, and he met Kinger and Gangle again, which I'm just gonna call him Crybaby and Hoo-Ha. Okay, more fitting names. So yeah, Jax uses the bowling ball he stole to assault them and send them down what Hoo-Ha here calls the Zooble hole. His words, not mine. So yeah, Jax, Crybaby, and Hoo-Ha head down that, and they meet up with who we shall call the Glowing Queen. Why did I say that? She's literally called the Glowing Queen canonically. I'm stupid. Anyways, yeah, let's head back to Pomni. I would say Team K, but Jax is over with Crybaby and Hoo-Ha, Ragatha's sitting in a corner, and Pomni's the last one left. So, yeah, after a brief talk, Ragatha tells Pomni to try and find Kane, which seems like the best course of action. So, yeah, she goes to try to do that, but instead stumbles upon Kaufmo and later an exit. We'll get back to that soon. For now, we'll cut back to Team Z listening to the Glowing Queen's monologue before Jax hits another Snyder mark on her. But, you know what? I'm adding a counter for every time Jax does or says something like that. So now it would be about 18 if I'm counting correctly. So, yeah, keep in mind that we're 16 minutes into this 25-minute video. So, then they see Zooble's head. Jack's counter increases by 1. Kinger tries to save Zooble and loses his hand in the process. But after increasing his counter to 20, Jack sees that Kaufmo has spread the abstraction to beneath. But yeah, cut back to Pomni running from Kaufmo, when all of a sudden she does that thing we all do in first-person games when we see a mirror, and then seconds after that, she finds what she's been looking for this whole time, an exit. She goes through and she sees an office. Yeah, that's what's on the other side awaiting her. An office. Anyways, back to Jax and the gang, when we see Kaufmo burst through the ceiling and start beating up the Glowing Queen. And then they leave through an escalator with Zooble's head intact. And this whole time, Jax's counter has increased by 6. But yeah, eventually in her office escapades, Pomni stumbles upon a computer at a desk, and she starts losing her mind and breaking down. But yeah, moments after this, she enters the void. Remember that? And yeah, that finally gets Kane's attention. She gets out of the void because of Kane, and boom, they're back. Ragatha's fixed up. The Goink Queen is done with. Kaufmo is stuck in a cellar with a bunch of other abstracted folks, and they all eat, and Pomni is slowly losing her mind, knowing that there's no way to escape. The end. So this show was great. In fact, I dare to call it amazing. Anyways, let me just talk about all the characters for a second, rate them. So, Pomni, main character, gets an automatic 10 out of 10 because of being the main character, but generally cool. So, Jax is infinity out of 10 because all hail Jax. I pray to Jax every night. Ragatha is nice, but spends half the episode sidelined. 9 out of 10. And then we have Gangle, who is cool in concept, and hopefully next episode is like a happy Gangle, like it's a 50-50 every episode on whether we get happy Gangle or depressed Gangle. So 9 out of 10. Kinger is just Pomni but future if she keeps going mad. So about a 10 there maybe. Then Zubul is even more sidelined than Ragatha. 8.5 out of 10 personally. Kaufmo's nothing but an obstacle with no character, but I'm still interested. 7 out of 10. Kane is fun and energetic. That's 10 out of 10. Bubble is Bubble. 11 out of 10. But besides characters, it has great animation, writing, comedy, etc., etc. Personally, I give this series a solid Bubble out of 10. Well, it's not as good as Murder Drones, but it does have potential, seriously. Like, this show could easily overtake Murder Drones given a few more episodes. And I can't wait for episode 2 to come out and everything else. Anyways, get this to 10 likes and I'll review the season 1 trailer. Anyway, until next time, my fellows!